Okay, let us talk about food aid. First of all, I'm going to get this off my chest. I'm going to clarify on this. I'm not against the idea of giving poor people food when they don't have anything to eat, when they are starving. I'm not against that idea. I myself, I am a beneficiary of food aid. From 2008 to around 2010, I subsisted primarily on food obtained from aid agencies, Christian Care, World Vision, such types of agencies. Even though my mother held a decent civil service job, she could not afford to buy us food, so we mainly subsisted on food aid. In the morning, would wake up, eat porridge, donated straight from the US. That was porridge that had all the ingredients inside. It was made into a sort of a paste that you just put in the pot. There was sugar in, there was peanut butter in there was salt in there. Obviously, there was maize or some sort of grain inside, barley, whatever. It was really tasty, or at least it tasted real nice as we were starving, so it was better than nothing. During the afternoon, we would eat maybe rice and peas straight out of the USA, straight out of USAID. In the evening, we would eat what we would call sadza, a thick porridge made from maize meal, yellow maize meal. From America, we would joke around that is what they feed their cattle, but at least they were giving us something, and I personally benefited from that. I had to just clarify on that so that nobody would say that I'm talking on a subject that I'm not well versed on. So when it comes to this subject, I know I'm a recipient, a thankful and grateful recipient of food aid, but I have to highlight the darker side of food aid. When food aid is given to a country such as Zimbabwe, I'm from Zimbabwe, I still live there. When food aid arrives, it is distributed according to partisan lines, and the beneficiaries are those who support the sitting president, as in the case around 2008, those who supported Robert Mugabe and ZANU-PF party would be first to get the food aid. It was sort of his fault that we were in that drought. The farms that he seized from the white people were underutilized. He gave them to people who had no experience in farming, so when the famine came, we did not have reserves of food. It was really a sorry state, from a bread basket to a begging basket. But it was said to note that when food aid came, it was still those party stalwarts who put us in the predicament that we was in, who were again in charge of distributing the food and using it as campaign tools and giving it to their loyalists and, depriving food to those who were not loyal to the party. Secondly, I think food aid had the detriment, as in the case of 2008 in Zimbabwe, of damping down, political dissent. Anzi, a hungry man is an angry man. Zimbabweans were very angry and hungry in 2008, and food aid sort of pacified that anger, and it made the ZANU-PF rule more bearable, as people had something to put in their stomach, so they really didn't mind the oppression. But we are still suffering under the yoke of ZANU-PF, and its mismanagement of this country. And food aid helps prolong the reign of such a government. That is the second disadvantage that food aid has. The third disadvantage that food aid has is it discourages initiative. I really don't have to explain much on that third point. It discourages initiative. The leaders know that they can slake off, steal as much money as they want from the national coffers, and the people won't say anything. And what will happen if the country begins to starve? America will send aid, so they have no initiative, to implement more sustainable policies, when it comes to farming, and, to just fix this economy, to fix the country. They don't have initiative to do that because they know they have the safety net of food aid. I appreciate food aid, but food aid has a darker side, and I'm willing to make a much longer video on this subject if the response to this one is positive. Peace. This has been Jiggy Speaks.